let's talk about designing for it. Apple is expected to release their very own mixed reality headset soon. What does it mean for designers? Spoiler alert, it's really worth it to explore mixed reality designing right now, and here's why. Of course, Apple is not gonna be the first one with an AR or VR headset. But do you remember designing for smartwatches before the Apple Watch came along? Exactly. Nobody cared about smartwatches before Apple came in and revolutionized the space. And now Apple Watch is the most popular watch in the world. What we can assume is that Apple is not gonna get it completely perfect the first iteration. It was the exact same story with the very first Apple Watch. It was slow, it was positioned as a fashion accessory, and it didn't really have a lot of useful functionalities. But they did improve it, and from the second generation forward, it went on to be the most popular watch in the world. The very first generation of the headset is likely going to be very expensive, around $3,000. It will also likely have an external battery pack as like a belt clip accessory, and you will need to actually have it tethered to that accessory.
Keep it right here, snaps right in, snug and secure. A cell phone belt clip?
So there will be wires running from your head to your waist, and it's not really a perfect solution for a typical consumer. But at this price, it's more about what the creatives and the companies can do with it, and obviously at some point Apple will release a completely self-contained set of goggles that you won't really need to have any external batteries for, and it's gonna be significantly cheaper. So let's talk about designing for it, because from the moment it arrives, even for that niche little group and a limited supply at a very high price, people should start learning how to design for it. If they manage to nail this one, and chances are that they will, there's gonna be a lot of new job openings for mixed reality designers, and there aren't really that many of those right now. Are you excited about it? Let me know in the comments. The two very important things for a designer to consider when thinking about a mixed reality experience are input methods and presenting information. Input methods will of course vary, but just like with the iPhone ditching the stylus, I don't think we're gonna see a controller anymore. I think it's gonna be mostly voice control and possible eye tracking and hand gesture movements. But even the current generation headsets like this one can offer a couple of different input methods. Here is an example from SteamVR running on the Oculus Quest. You can aim and click from a distance, or extend your virtual finger and move it to tap the virtual surface. And there's gonna be a lot of these ideas to explore for designers. The second thing is useful data presentation. There are a lot of gimmicks out there, like complex multi-layered 3D surfaces with charts and graphs, but these things are just flashy ways to get more clicks. Figuring out what kind of data presentation will actually work in AR or VR is gonna be what the best designers are gonna excel at. To show you how to think about these interfaces, let's briefly go through a couple of problems. Here is a beautiful rendition of a possible AR interface by Dominic Hofacker. Looks really cool, right? Sure does. It's beautiful and very well executed, but the question is, should a virtual interface be just a paradigm moved from flat displays, flat windows and panels floating in space? Maybe. It's something to be tested, but think of it this way. Here is a computer monitor, and here is an app used for work, in my case Sketch. As you can see, it fills the entire screen because I need to focus on one task at hand. I don't have my calendar floating on the side here, I don't have my messages app open, I don't have the weather widget on top. Here's the thing, multitasking is a myth. People don't multitask, they pretend they do, but because of the higher cognitive load, that work is usually way slower. Let's add another display then. Some people work on two after all, right? So what's on the second one? In most of my workflows it's Final Cut Pro, so I can edit a video like this. and I can drag assets right onto the timeline from Sketch. Still, no calendars, no weather or music controls in place. I only access them when I really need them from the dock. There are use cases where people need a lot of data and a lot of displays, like traders, but for most people, being focused is definitely a preferred option. How to solve that in AR? One possible way would be a set of minimized floating buttons somewhere that you can switch between like tabs, or sometimes open them up to drag an asset into the main window. This is just to keep your head engaged and thinking about it from all perspectives. Let me know in the comments if you want me to explore those ideas more. And here's another thing. Apple used Skeuomorphism in the first iPhone to make it easier for people to understand a completely new set of interactions. Then, after people got used to it, the designs got progressively flatter because they're presented on a flat screen after all. And it does make sense because our screens are flat. Does it make sense for AR though? Mixing flat panels with a completely 3D world? Or will it feel weird and out of place? It is worth trying a little bit of skeuomorphic realism there too. Like moving a file from one side to the other could have that paper bending effect, just so all our senses get the right feedback from what our eyes are seeing. It's exciting stuff and a lot more to explore. Should I? Those future interfaces will have to be better at AR and VR, and they have to be specifically better than doing these things in another way, like on a computer. Otherwise, it just doesn't make sense to do them. I plan to explore this in more detail, and I'm likely getting that first iteration headset, and I'm gonna build some stuff for it. It's also great news for designers, unless it's a total flop, and that is highly unlikely with Apple. Then it's gonna be a whole new era of design experimentation, trying new things, new research methods, new input methods, new data presentation. Basically, there is a whole new world to explore. And it's not gonna be as boring or ugly or clunky as the metaverse.
The most requested feature on our roadmap. Legs.
No, this actually has to be useful, and it has to be done in a way that enhances our lives. So let's not lose that human touch, and of course let's have a beautiful day.